So, good morning, and welcome everybody back to the podcast. For those who know, this is the One Who Is Many podcast. We have a new guest, a new perspective, and a new story. So, I hope you are ready for it. And I'm going to give the guest to our floor and we'll get started.
Yep. Morning, everybody. Name's Dom. I'm on this podcast because my boy here, Eric, hit me up saying he wanted to know a little bit about my story. So,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
here to talk about that and, get into a little bit about myself too as well. Um, might be some questions that I might remember, but Eric, if you could refresh me on those, that would be great, once we go along. And then I'll just answer them as needed and all that. And maybe even say some recent updates that happened too as well, on other things.
Okay. And we would honestly love to hear it. So, to get us started, before we get into cars, I want to give the people a little background about yourself. So, outside of the car scene world and the cars, who are you?
Me? Shoot. That's a chill guy, man. That's a chill guy, as the name says, Dom, I kinda live my life like him himself, from Fast and Furious and all that, Dominic Toretto always said he lived his life, a quarter mile at a time. And sometimes that wraps around with my world and situations, whereas like I go through it, you know, I just try to take care of things as much as I can in that small amount of time. But other than that, anyone that knows me, they know like I'm just a chill guy. I'm just always there, always show up. When things are needed, when shit's hard, going out with friends is needed, taking care of, anyone, folks, whether or not it be my family members, strangers, people I just met, and if you really ask anybody about me, like the only thing they'll, again, say is that Dom's that guy, is that guy that shows up and be there and he just, tries to make the best out of the situation. But my slogan is always saying that it'll be all right. Because most times, 9 out of 10, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in life that can be hard for people, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we all want to get through it. It's life,
Hmm.
things happen, things come up, but it's always being something that we'll get through. But also, the reason why I'm so chill as a person is because I'm from the Caribbean. I've been in the United States probably like I don't know, 13, 14 years now.
Okay.
Um, and since then, they talk about an American dream when you come up in here. But shit, I just been paying bills since I got into this country. I don't, like, I don't know what American dream to talk about unless they're talking about that. Some crazy shit. But
Yeah, some crazy
um,
shit.
yeah, it's damn bills out here. Just like man, but it is what it is. Like, but yeah, just a island boy from the Caribbean that just into cars and making new friends and being in the car community and supporting people. That's the biggest thing for me.
Love it. Love it. So basically, in a sense, you basically said you got a good heart, big heart.
100%.
And
Hmm.
the car scene is blessed to have people like that. And I can already get a sense of your energy. So it's just like I already feel it's gonna be a good podcast. So before we get started into the questions, I wanna ask, give us your favorite car growing up.
Growing up, my favorite car, shit. Actually, interestingly enough, it's the Audi R8. Um, the Audi R8 actually, and the reason why it's actually my favorite car is because of Jason Statham, in the Transporter.
Yeah.
When he had his Audi, it made me fell in love with Audi in general. And then there was one part in one of the movies, I think it was like the second movie or third movie that for the Transporter, he had the Audi R8 and he was racing like a plane with it. And that's like as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's my car. Like that's my car. I love that car. But Jason really made me fall in love with Audi in general, growing up as a kid. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to say Need for Speed and Transformers. When they put the Audi R8 in Transformers, done.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, which
Yes.
Transformer? You talking about the cartoon one?
Nah, the actual movie. I want to say,
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. It's the
um,
second one with the silver one, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I know the one
bro.
you're talking about.
I seen the R8 since then. That's like that's definitely top three for me. That's like top three that I have to have one day. Have to.
Yeah, yeah, because
R8,
it's just
beautiful.
gorgeous car.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's R8 is just R8 is just gorgeous. Like hands down, it's one of my top three for sure. For sure, it's one of my top three. So now we get into our actual first question.
Hmm.
You grew up into Fast and Furious, and you see the world of tuners, fast cars, and friendship. So, what about that lifestyle made you like this is what I want to be a part of?
Well, growing up, I was always like a curious child, like just wandering out there, seeing what's going on in the world. Um, and back home, as far back as I can remember, I don't know if it's because of my mother or something like that, but when I was growing up. Um, I would always be the type of person to like go out and again, as I said, like help folks, like go
Yeah.
down the street and help get food for elderly folks, like from the shops and bring it to their houses and things like that. And my mother would always be, having me doing those things. And it's not because of, some type of pity or something like that, but she just always taught me to care for somebody else other than myself, majority of the times. And to look after the people that are around you. So, growing up, it kind of helped build that type of community for myself and, foundationalize and establishing friendships and relationships with folks growing up in that scheme and sense. Um, as far as the Fast and Furious part, that came from the buses and people driving fast and me growing up and watching those tuner shows when I was a kid because I always thought it was cool. Like when the Fast and Furious first came out, I was watching it. I don't know where people watched it from, but I watched it on TNT. That's the first place I saw it. As far back as I can remember, as far as shows go. Um, and so when I was watching it, the first things you see was the flames. You'll see the neon lights, all those types of things happening. And back home, there was also folks with tuner cars too as well. Like they have like 12 TVs in the back of their cars, popping out speakers, neon light, crazy shit going on. Like, all of it looked cool as shit back then. Nowadays,
Mhm.
it still be cool? Yes, but it's not. It's of course it's not the scope where the car community is going anymore. There is some folks that still do it, but people are more going into like fast cars and racing them and things like that. They're not really into the whole cosmetic, TVs, all that crazy stuff. But in those aspects of things, that's where I got my interest from. And as far as with cars, that's where I really got it from. Even, making my own makeshift little, steering wheel and gearbox thing, that I
Mhm.
had back home, just making that. And then just sometimes I'll be literally planning out a whole evening going to just doing that and just having that imagination with all those things, growing up as a kid and saying, one day, yeah, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there for sure. Not knowing exactly what it will cost to get there, but having that dream as a kid growing up was everything for me as far as the cars.
So, I want to touch back on something you said because I feel like in today's car scene, it is you do social media. In my part, is the biggest part of it. Like it's all about numbers, how fast you going, how much horsepower you got. Like that's really what the car scene, a good majority of it is just straight about. But we have to outside looking in, you have to see the car scene is actually opening up a new lane, whereas it is just purely cosmetics, right?
Mhm.
Now, I will say you made a point. You don't see the TVs that often, all the neon lights, like that kind of sort of faded away. But I feel like social media had a part in that fading away because everybody started judging what the car was, or I wouldn't do that to my car, or oh, that's too much neon, too much this. So I feel like people started trying to appease social media more than what they like on their car.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. So what I've noticed since actually starting my little creator content thing with my cars, and honestly, I should have started it years ago. But what I've noticed starting it now is that people 100% are not going off of what they want to do or what they like, in the car seat. They're really going off of what the social media is kind of portraying or giving,
Hmm.
with the numbers, with the power and things like that. And it turns into more of like a whole judgmental thing. And then it puts off people from wanting to even do things or show things with their cars. Because they're gonna call them lane tacky, this, that, and the third, you know, or ricey or whatever they want to call it. But I feel like everybody has the right, to really just do what they want with their cars. Especially if they just like got their car, or they have a car that they like my Lexus ISF. Some people want my car as a dream car. I hear that a lot, actually. A lot of folks want my car as a dream car, but some people would say,
Me
why would
being
you
one.
want that Lexus ISF, right? Hey, did you say something?
I said me as well. I
Yeah.
want an Lexus ISF.
Yeah, yeah, some folks do, but then some folks are like, "Why would you want a Lexus ISF? It's a Lexus. It's not quick like that. It doesn't throw out to get a BMW." And it's like somebody could want whatever car they want. That's their preference. That's what they look like. That's what they want. That's what they into. That's what they want. I like all cars out there. I don't have really a judgmental thing, whereas I say I hate a car, because every car sometimes is unique in their own way, especially
Hmm.
specifically for that person, because it just fits what they want, right? So that's why, where it comes to that portraying of, whatever people think is best for other folks, that's basically what they're thinking in their head. They're thinking, yeah, no, you should go this route because this is best. No, because some people, again, they could like Mercedes, they could like BMW, they could like Audi, they could like Lexus, they could like Toyota, they could like Hondas. If a guy comes up to me and tells me their dream car is a Honda Civic and he wants to tap on neon lights on and to put wheels on it, that's him, right?
Go
That's him
for it.
100%. And I'll support it, because at the end of the day, you got a car, you got four wheels. You're driving, you're moving. I think that concept of just that alone, of having a vehicle, is a big responsibility at the end of the day. And once you have it, and you could appreciate your car after the build, that's the best thing. You know, but everything in the car community sometimes seems like you got to be looking over your shoulder a little bit, with folks, because it then turns into a whole judgmental thing, with some other guy talking negative about your car or this, that, and the third. Nah, just for me, like when I see people, and I see it in the comments too, some folks, like, they'll go through and be like talking crazy crap about their car and everything, and I'm like, and it all started with saying that, oh, I could beat that car. I want to race that car. Great. Just you can start there, leave it at that. But then it turns into a whole argument. Like,
Mm.
in the
Big
comment section,
argument.
it could turn into that. And I'm like, man, listen, there is no need for a whole argument in the comment section. If y'all say y'all want to race, go ahead and race. Have a peaceful race. Shake it off man to man. Whoever wins, whoever loses, you're good to go. I'm like, for me, anybody that challenged me in the comments, I'm like Eric, Aaron the plumber, him, like, he's like, win, lose or draw, I gotta catch them all, bro. Like, fuck all that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know wherever you want it. Like, we go ahead and do that race, right? So some people have the perspective of just being chill, bro. It's your car, it's your thing, do what you want. But as far as like back in the day versus now, social media has chokehold on that type of judgmentality. And not only that, I mean, of course, social media has that chokehold on a lot of things.
Yeah.
From cars to lifestyles to people's dating to this, that, and the third. It's social media makes a fake impression on what somebody's lifestyle should be sometimes, and again clouds their judgment as to what things should be and how things should be portrayed. um even though, like, again, I'm a content creator and I'm on social media, so it's kind of hypocritical. But I at the end of the day, I still do it just to have fun. And I'm not really doing it to really have too much attention. I'm doing it to just show off, the Lexus, because some folks like it. Some folks like the mods I've done to the car, the build I've done to the car. And so that's why I'm just doing, just with the Lexus, because before I never really used to post the cars I had, and I've had many cars. So,
Right.
but at the same time, yeah, social media does have a chokehold on that.
So I guess we are both hypocritical, right?
Yeah.
I've never cared for social media in the sense of like I just didn't care for it. But everything I'm doing now involves social media. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like a full circle. Like I said, I just never kept with social media. Now everything I do, technically speaking, is social media. And
Well,
also, I want to touch back on something you said. Also, with people always say get a BMW, or to get a BMW, or get a I want to say what Mustang, or get a Hellcat or Charger. If we go off that standard, the car scene is strictly copy and paste
hmm.
because at that point there's no creativity. There's nobody doing stuff because what they want to do. We're all just doing what people are telling us what we should do. B58, a Q. Well, actually, BQ is kind of hated in the car scene, and I don't get it, but you know what I'm saying. This,
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. But again, it goes back to that point.
so like, I just if you come into the car scene, or if I had to welcome somebody in the car scene, I'm gonna take them around everything, every different car that when you can see what your style is, like what you prefer. Don't go off what the next person say. It's it's your build. You gotta build it to your vision, not to the next person's vision. You can't do that. It's you gotta build off what you want and what you like, not the next person. Not at all.
Yep, that's 100%. Because I had in the past, I've had like a Dodge Charger Scat Pack, and I've gotten
Okay.
that car, of course, because it's a Scat Pack. Like everybody knows a Scat Pack.
Mhm.
Everybody knows it's this. Everybody knows it's that. And it's an amazing machine. Don't get it twisted. This Dodge Charger and Dodge Mopar. They know what they did with their cars.
Oh
The
yes.
car is made to just have fun with, enjoy, and go out, and to be loud, and to just do things with it, whenever you can, take it to the drag, do a little legal pit with it, whatever the case may be. Um, I loved my Scat Pack when I had it. But then I just decided that like kind of everyone has the vehicle. Everyone has a vehicle, and it's not because everyone had a vehicle that I wanted to go get something this different, like a Lexus ISF, because nobody knows about the car like that until they hear it. My car, when they see my car, they don't expect it to have a V8 in it. Which is another appeal of the car, because people are shocked. Which is another thing I like, but I just wanted something that was more, agile, reliable, and, just strategic. It's like a, wolf in sheep's clothing type of thing. Um,
Mhm.
and this car does that for me. This car is basically, like a Scat Pack. It is faster, but it's like a Scat Pack. It's loud, it's everything. But I've only gotten pulled over once with this vehicle. Versus a Scat Pack, I damn near got pulled over every day. Like, it's just like
Targeted.
I had it's a complete target car. Like, it'd be like, yeah, it's a black man in there, probably got drugs, probably doing some
Yeah.
stupid shit. And that's all they think, when you have a Dodge Charger Scat Pack, or mainly any type of Charger, really. Like, even if it's a V6, it's kind of the same situation. So, I just got the car just because I wanted to be off that radar too, and then just be different in that sense.
Okay. So, um, before I ask the first question, you been in the car scene for how long?
I've been in the car scene for, I would say, since really I got my shit. I've had so many cars, but I'll just say since 2018, 19, fully.
Okay, so you've been around the same, just around the same time. I want to say I got. Like that's the same time I started taking cars more serious. But I got into car
Yeah.
scene at 23.
Hmm.
So tell us about your journey of like content creating for cars, and then how do you feel about the car scene today, like other than social media?
So back then, because around that time I was like um 18, 19 back then. And what I do remember happening is the car scene blowing up crazily, especially around 2020, 2021. That's when takeovers were happening. Shit was going wild everywhere. I remember that car scene when it happened, and it made me go get a 2012 Dodge Charger, RT at the time. And then after that, later on, selling that car a couple years later and then getting a Scat Pack. But initially back then, when I was seeing all those videos and seeing all that, that's what like, wow, okay, that's crazy. Okay, the car scene is really getting, going there. But before that, I've had multiple cars. And once I started, when I was at the time from when I was like 16 to like 20, I possibly had probably about 10 vehicles. Like crazily enough. And it's not because they got in accidents or nothing. I just bought them and then just sold them. Like I bought them, see if I liked it. If I didn't like them, I sold them. Or just
Okay,
experienced the car in a sense at the time when I got it. Because my first ever car was a 2000 Honda Accord V6. Love that car. Leather interior. It was just it was a gem to be honest. It rides smooth. Everything was great about the car. Um, I put a little bit of an exhaust on it. I ain't gonna lie. I did back then when initially I did put a little exhaust on it, thinking that I was going somewhere, thinking it was fast. And it had a VTEC engine, so those engines were pretty good.
hmm
But yeah, I remember that was my first car, and I liked it. Then I ended up selling that. The next car I had gotten was I think it was a BMW 320i 2003. I think it was. I could
okay,
be wrong about the numbers because I'm not a BMW person per se, but I remember getting that car. Great car, fast, amazing engine. Just had a lot of problems, like a lot of problems. And it's during BMW and Mercedes during that time, or these German cars in general, during those times they had, little kinks here and there that they had to work on when they were incorporating their newer vehicles versus their older ones. So there was like a lot of changes and things like that they had to do at the time, with their cars. So it was something that always needed to get done with those. But it was a great car, and I gotten rid of that, and then I had a Volkswagen 2003 Volkswagen Jetta. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why I got that car, but I had it for a little bit, and then got rid of that. And then after that, that's when I started getting into new cars. I got after that, I got a 2014 Nissan Sentra, the SR. That's when I started going into Nissan for some reason. And I got a Nissan Altima. Um, and then got rid of that. And then after that, I think I had gotten a 2006 Honda Accord, basically a newer version of the first one I had. Great car too. Ended up getting rid of that. And then my boy, he had a 370Z. And then
okay,
that's what made me jump into car. That was probably like around 2018 ish. Yeah, the 370Z. And when I sat in that, that was the first time I've ever sat in a sports car that can go fast. And when I first sat in that thing, I don't know what Nissan had in those seats, if it's like gravity seats or some shit, but you sink. Like
oh
you
yeah,
sink. Once he took off on that 370Z, you would sink. And that's at that point, yeah. Yeah, that's told me I'm about to get into cars a lot more seriously now. Because initially I was into cars, but not as seriously. Not as like, being able to change things out, change parts out, really be into the engine, transmission in certain other specs. Um, and then, that's when I first got my Dodge Charger RT when I was 19, because around that same time I had bought a house. But I think I got the Charger first and then bought the house, somewhere around there. But I got a 2012 Dodge Charger RT, basically the most targeted car ever because it was bright red with chrome rims on it. Like, I was state trooper galore. A state trooper see me going down the road. once I was going down the road, man, the state trooper was following the BMW. I know it was like an M3 BMW. He following that motherfucker, like on his ass. He saw my car, he was like, target acquired. Move over here, and then he went right behind my car and pulled my ass over, talking about I'm speeding. And he probably was right. The speedometer was giving some trouble, so I didn't really know the full speed. Same day, I was trying to take the Dodge into the dealership to try to get that fix. Um, but yeah, it was a great car, but it was, again, that's when I noticed Dodge was, more of like a target when you have that vehicle more than anything else. So, but right now versus back then when the car scene blew up in the initial 2020 versus now, um, it died down. The car scene, in my opinion, has died down from that time till now, but it also became more with that died down, it became more refined. And then
Hmm.
there's a lot more organization with it. And I think that's what died it down, because what I've noticed in the car scene is people like danger. People like danger. People like shit going crazy. People like you getting pulled over, getting in trouble. Like if I post a video of me just cruising my car down the road, they don't give a shit about that. Like, but like if I post a video of my ass getting arrested going like 140 miles per hour in a run, oh, that
Hmm.
shit's gonna blow up.
Going
So
viral.
yeah, that's what I've noticed with back then initially with that car scene versus now. That's pretty much the correlation, is like it's not as dangerous as it used to be when it initially blew up. With Dodge Chargers and all those types of things. It's just it's not as dangerous as it used to be. And yes, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. But I think that's what got either a lot of people into cars around that time, and why the car like media right now has just died down and dwindled down to where it is currently.
Okay. I can before I well, let me see. I guess I'm at this first. We got a question in the chat. So within the years of being in the car community and content creating, was there any moment where you just wanted to walk away from it and entirely do something else?
Hmm. No, no. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, no. I feel like because it's more. A lot of people can walk away from certain things they start doing or a hobby they have.
Hmm.
It can happen, but I feel like because of my enjoyment with cars, um, as much as I have, especially growing up with that specific dream and that the goals in mind of that dream, I think that's what made me, stick around with it. Because it's not only the fact that it turned into a hobby, but I also incorporated it into my life. It's whereas like it's also cars is also a part of my life. Like I have it as a whole secondary thing that I do. So I feel like, with the grit and the strength of that, being able to have that there, that's what keeps me going forward. Um, but also, I mean, another thing is you kind of just have to have like a decent amount of grit, and it's going to take a lot, and it's going to be expensive. Being a car person in general is going to be a very expensive hobby. So the funds also would make you, it's something that got to be there for you to stay. That could be something that can make you walk away from it, because there are certain things you could do, certain mods you could do to your car that's going to cost you an extra expense for you. And again, if it's something that you can't really be affording or can't keep going, of course, don't stretch yourself out to something that you can't really do. But you can still try to keep it going as much as you can, even with limited funds.
Hmm.
But I just tell folks, it's something that the reason why you would tend to walk away is for those reasons. Or again, sometimes it could be where people are just being negative about whatever you're doing, like your build, and you can't keep that going. Me, I don't. I have haters in the comments. I either ignore them or I respond back and be like, "Shut the fuck up," like But it just depends on what's going on there. But for the most part, yeah, I've never really thought about it, like actually walking away.
Yeah, I feel like once you get a taste of like, okay, so once you get a taste of cars in general, and then you add that to being in the car scene, then you just mix it. It's something like has to really, really happen to take you away from it. Other than that, I think you stuck. I think it's it's like a drug almost being in a car scene like that. So I think once
Hmm.
you get to that point, it's like you're stuck.
Yeah, once especially once you get up to the like even sometimes your dream car that you want, once you get that adrenaline, once you get that feeling and of being in your car and driving down the road, driving like maybe doing a little pull and stuff like that, and you start giggling and shit, you start smiling, that tells you, yeah, this is what
It's
I like.
raps.
It gives that endorphins in, it makes you feel good, just having your car, being in your car at the end of the day. And once that starts happening, yeah, you stay there. And again, sometimes that can even be sometimes more than the expense of whatever it is you're doing that could trump that. So, it's once you get tied in with that, that's the route you tend to go.
For sure. And to touch back on what you said about the car scene being it's not been as dangerous. I feel like the car scene for a while, for a good stretch, you had people street racing, people hitting bystanders, killing bystanders. You had takeovers going crazy. And then you just had people in cars just doing like this, like you said, just doing crazy, like crazy shit. So I think, in my opinion, takeovers kind of was killing the car scene. It gave the car scene a bad rep. Um, it started putting a negative impact on the car scene to the point where it was almost irreversible. And then we all street race. Why do they keep looking like that for? Anyways, we all street race. Everybody have their fun street racing. I think that's one thing that's just not going away. I think that's just part of the car scene entirely. We all get on the highway and have fun with our friends, or if we got an open road with our friends. Just to be honest, we finna see who's faster that day. So I think that's just what it is. But I feel like as a community, we all agree that takeovers don't represent the car scene because of the risk it puts other people in. Now, like a legal pit, or if you in a spot, I always say this, I don't agree with the takeovers. But if you're in a spot where you can easily just go be in that spot and it's just you and nobody else can get hurt, that's fine. Like, by all means, have fun with that. But to take it public and do it in open roads, I feel like the car scene and the people outside the car scene were just like, if that's what the car scene is about, then we need to get ready. We need to get rid of the car scene entirely. So I think that's why that part of it died down, and now we get the part that we have now of the car scene.
Yeah, that's because there's just so much structure, and everything now. And again, with the legal pits, it helps out a lot with, as far as with, testing out your car and doing races and things like that. Because where I'm at, there's we have two. There's Dominion Raceway. That's a track that's a little bit down south of me. And then there's another one called Summer Duck. That's also another track that's a little bit down for me. Where you can actually go there and do legal pits, get on the track, do races, do drag races, whatever. There's also one that's I believe that one is over in Colonial Beach, Virginia. That one's also a pretty good track over there. We can go and again experience your car, do races, have fun with, your friends, see who's the fastest, do whatever you got to do. And as you said, that was what the car scene was before. But again, from that time, especially I think COVID has the biggest change on it. From that time when COVID was to like I think it was at least till 2023, 2024, there was just so many like illegal takeovers, so many people getting hurt, pedestrians getting hit, people getting hit, people flying out of cars, like so many crazy things that were happening. Like, it was, man, I'm like, I would see people doing some crazy, I would see motherfuckers hanging out of cars that I don't know how they got the agility for it. Like, I was like, man, I think you should be in the Olympics or something with that type of body. Like, there's no way.
Mhm.
But it was just crazy. And then at the time, it's like, man, it didn't make sense as to how things were going and how people wanted to be, with their vehicles and what the things they wanted to do. Um but again, like I feel like the realization and all of that stuff dying down and where it is now, is a lot better, versus where it used to be because it calmed down a lot. So that's the most important part. But social media and I feel like the fact that people were inside and COVID was there, like played a big part in getting that started. And in doing things because people were just bored. They wanted to do fun shit. And since nobody was on the streets at the time, they're like, let's take this shit outside. So like, it's pretty much that was like what's going on. Um and I feel like if COVID was lingering around a little bit, it probably would have still been the same right now if like there wasn't a lot of people outside and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I feel like shut it all down is everything just starting to get back to where it was a lot more traffic on the road, a lot more things going on. And it brought it more closer to where it should be now in that car community.
I can agree with that. If COVID was still COVID, I feel like takeovers would be happening more often because, like you said, there's nobody on the road, so who really gonna stop them from going outside and doing it at that point? So let's see how I can answer this question. But before that, so I did want to, it is part of your journey how you got into the car scene, right? Um, you spoke about all the cars you did have. So take us before, like when you couldn't get the cars you wanted. Like explain the feeling of not being able to get them to where you are at now with having experienced all the cars that you did experience.
I would say, hmm, because before I couldn't get them, it was more of like, for me, like it's like goals are interesting for me because I have a goal in mind. I'll get to that goal and I'll be like, like it's whatever. Like I wouldn't even care about the goal at that point. It's like and I guess and it's not even I wouldn't even look at the journey either and be like, yeah, I went through this to get it. Something about my mind state is like I'll have a goal, I want to get there. The journey doesn't matter, and even when I get to the goal, it might not even matter. And then at that point, you're kind of wondering, what's the point of the goal? So
Okay.
like going back to when I didn't have cars and like basically I didn't even have a job. This was talking about like when I was maybe 14, 15. Because 15 and 16 is when I really got into looking into cars. And then, when I really got into checking out things and viewing things was like maybe 17, 18 when my friend he had a 3000 GT, Mitsubishi 3000 GT. Um, and that also got me into saying, man, yo, that's a great car. I like the looks of the car, how it was, the aerodynamics of it. It reminded me of like an Eclipse and everything. And I was like, yeah, I mean that's a great car. Um, so when I didn't have it, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make enough money. I'm gonna go ahead. Like my boy's 370Z. That when I was in this car, it made me want to go get a 370Z. Like I want like back then it made me. But it took, I guess maybe because it took so long for me to really even get a sports car in general. Because every other immediate car that I had, like the Nissan Altima, those types of cars, it was like, you got those
Hmm.
cars, it's great. Like they're good for commuting and doing what you got to do, but it's not a dream car for me. Some people it could be dream cars for them, but it's not a dream car for me. Again, everybody has their preference, and once I got to that Dodge Charger RT, I was like, at the time I was young, so when I got to there and I got the Dodge Charger RT, I was like, man, this is like it's a fast car, it's loud, it's great, it gives me the attention. Everybody was saying, I can't believe Dom got a Dodge Charger RT and everything, and he's that young and this that, and third, and like all of my friends were surprised I got the car. But then I was like, after I got the car, I was just saying, like I didn't it's like I didn't care really. I just like, yeah, I just have the car. It's like when once I build up to go get the goal, it's a matter about the journey or the goal once I get there. It's like you I guess it's because my mind state just knows that I can do it or I can get there or I can do what I gotta do to the point like it's not necessarily a big challenge for me, or it's just saying that you get to the goal. It's basically like, and it's hard to explain for me because it's basically like just going out there and just getting like a book or getting like a something to eat type of goal. Like let's say you have a goal to go buy something to eat type of thing. That's how that goal kind of feels to me. It's not like a goal where it's something extravagant, like saying that, oh, I'm going to go get like $1 million tomorrow, like or something like that. Like some type of crazy goal that you can't ascertain whatsoever. Um, but it's like those types of goals for me is like because it's not hard for me to try to get it or get it in my head. And I know I could acquire it to the point like it's not a big deal. But once I do get the those goals, like the cars that I want, I enjoy it, man. I like them. And I have fun with them. And is it worth the goal? Yes, because all goals are worth that experience once you get it. And my actual dream car one day is to get a C8 Corvette actually. At
Nice.
some point. Yeah, it's an amazing machine, especially a Z06 if possible. That'd be nice, but because I want that like Ferrari sound from them, with the flat plane crank they got. But besides that, like yeah, just ascertaining those goals from either before or even after. That's the feeling I get from.
Okay. Respectable. I will say though, the journey though, getting there is always important though. So like,
Hmm.
def definitely gotta like enjoy the journey because you can learn a lot about just yourself, period, or just anything along the journey. So, well, that's just my opinion about that one. But um,
No, you're right. No, you're right about that. Because what that the journey as far as getting there just tells me that it's not like a challenging or complicated thing for me to do.
mhm.
Meaning like, some people say that the journey is really hard to get through, and it could be for some people. 100%. It could be hard, it could be tough. But for some people it could be hard, but for me it could be more or less it could just be something that passes by or maybe a more easier journey. Like as far as getting an adequate job or the money that I need in order to get to, ascertain those types of goals, it's not hard for me, which tells me that like my mind state is more of like a not give up type of mentality. That's what it kind of just tells me in that mind state. So you're 100% right about that, in the journey mindset of things.
So I will say, I feel like sometimes the journey of getting somewhere does scare off some people because there's two sides to it. It could take you exactly where you're trying to. Three sides to it. It could take you exactly where you're trying to go. It could take you to an entirely new route, or the journey won't go anywhere. It won't be as successful as you want it to be. But I will say in a sense, I feel like if you to the ones that don't trust the journey or don't trust the process of it, in the moment they don't believe in what they can be, or they don't see what they can be, or they're not seeing their full potential of what like they can do. So they rather just stick to what they know and just push it to the back burner. And then the only thing, in my opinion, that creates is a what if. So now you got to live with a constant what if, or if I, or I should have. But I feel like everybody has that same mentality. I feel like some people are just scared to actually bring it out in themselves. But what I've learned from talking to people and having this podcast is that everybody, and Peso Twan said it too, is a dude we have on the podcast. Everybody is special. Everybody is great in their own way. But you won't really see it if you don't put that one foot forward. Like, so I'll say this much, right? From what I learned, I've tried many things. The first thing I tried was a clothing brand. I tried to have my own clothing brand. I mean, it did pretty good, but I didn't put my full into it. So
Yeah.
after the clothing brand, I started making rugs. Right, I still have the rug gun. I still have the heat press, the Cricut. I still have all of that. After that, I tried to have my own car group. Um, that worked out. That worked out amazing for a good stretch. But then life happened, so that fell off. And now I'm here with the podcast, right?
Mhm.
So I'm learning every step of the way. As long as you put that what's the term? Put your best foot forward and you just open that door or just creak it open, but you just keep inching towards it, it gets easier. You get more creative, you get more confident, and then doors open up in spots you would never imagine.
That's facts. That's true. I could say that with 100% certainty that it's life. Life comes with the experience, but a lot of
Hmm.
people are scared. A lot of people are, they're comfortable in some type of zone. And I tell people all the time, I tell them a couple things, but the two most important things, in my opinion, that really stands out is one, you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take.
A
As a first.
hundred,
And then the second thing is you got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. Like,
bro. I love
whatever,
that saying, bro.
yeah, whatever, your comfort zone is, get uncomfortable. Because I hear folks complain about, their life and there's certain things that they can't accomplish and certain things that they can't do, but they're in a comfort zone that they don't want to get out of. Like I'll tell
Hmm.
somebody an idea that I've tried that actually get me out of something that they're in the same position. And they're like, nah, I ain't gonna worry about it. Like, I'm comfortable here, but what the fuck you talking about? I ain't leaving this shit. Like, and that's one of the things is like they either just again they don't get it or they just don't want to leave that comfort zone. And at that point, if that person is going down that route and going down that way, I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life or what they got to do. But I
Hmm.
always try to instill some type of advice and wisdom on people. No matter who I meet or who I'm talking to. And a lot of folks come to me for that advice and wisdom. They come to me because everyone knows me as that person that's always smiling. That's always my slogan is literally always saying that it'll be all right. Like no matter what the issue is, like it'll be all right. Like that's just my slogan. That's the thing I always say. And um people just come to me because they know that I don't know, it's either I have that peace of mind or I have that vibrant energy that just says we'll get through it. Because there's things that I've been through in the past that I thought about, damn, I'm gonna get through this shit. And then I get through it. Like, I'm just like, it happens. Like I just get through the thing. It's not the most complicated thing in the world to me. And I'm not a person where I'm trying to go over here to say that I'm trying to, get world peace out of everybody out there. But I'm willing to be the person that can be that pillar to guide people into their own pieces. You got a piece that you want for yourself. You have somebody else has a piece they got for themselves. Other people have things that's going on in their lives that you don't know about. This person could have family issues. This person can have terminal issues. This person can have this. But one thing I know is there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. You gotta have your life, whatever you got going on in your life could be better than somebody else's, right? But whatever they also have that's not better than yours, they could be better than that other person's, whereas, I'm sitting here, talking to you, but there's somebody in the hospital fighting for their life. It's just certain aspects of things you really gotta look at and go forward with things. But at the end of the day, I tell folks all the time, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours, and you just got to be able to get uncomfortable, take the step forward, don't be scared. What do you got to lose? Is either you got to lose what you're worrying about right now, or you got to lose nothing that's in front of you right now. So just take that step, and go forward and do what you got to do.
So you definitely right, and I feel like some people, like, we all have our own obstacles to get over to get to that point. So now I want to ask, what was your biggest obstacle you had to get over getting like into the car content or just content period?
I would say to get into the car contact, getting into it, there wasn't a big obstacle for me. The biggest obstacle was being ignorant about it. Like I've had cars in the past but I never decided to get into it. Like I never thought about actually making videos, making contents with cars or nothing like that. Like I never actually put that into mind. And I guess that's my biggest obstacle was like, just not thinking about it or
Mhm.
getting into it. But it's something that I could have done before. It's something I could have done a long time ago. I never 100% sat down and took the time and say, hey, yeah, you like cars, you want to know more about cars, get into it. Do what you got to do and get there. Or maybe I could say, I guess the other biggest obstacle is actually figuring out, what it is that I need to get into, like cameras and, things like that and taking good shots and all that. Cause I'm not no perfect person. I'm more of just do shit as it goes. Like I just throw shit
Okay.
to the wind and hope for the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know what the hell I'm doing now. For 9 times out of 10, I'm kind of stupid in that way. But I just the main thing for me is trying to really figure out um how to really start and get there. So that was like my biggest obstacle is like trying to figure out how to start and get there. But also is again just being ignorant. I did not know or I wasn't even thinking about it at first.
Okay. So I guess I can speak for the ones with insecurities, correct? Right. So
Mhm.
growing up, I had a stuttering problem. Um, my voice don't travel. So like Eric, you talking too low. But to me, like here it sounds like loud as fuck, right? But when it
Mhm.
comes out, it's low. So I had a stuttering problem. When I get too excited, bro, I talk really fast. Like I could say a whole paragraph in 2 words. So
Mhm. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
bad. So
Yeah.
like I just know me to get into content, biggest my biggest like challenge was my speech. How I talk, when to slow down, how to slow down, and then to get the words to come out smoothly. Like I said, I get excited and I just start talking, bro, and it just starts flying. And they're like, Eric, slow down. I can't understand you. You're talking too fast, or I'm getting stuck on the word. So I'm gonna say like I do everything else. I just dove head in. Like I just jumped in the pool, bro, without knowing how to swim. So my my first time diving in actually is on YouTube. I posted a video. I went to a car meet where I met Steve Hamilton from the Hamilton Collection. Right?
Very.
He had a car meet out in Orlando,
Mhm.
and no, that'd be a good first video to get into the YouTube slash like car scene. So I went down there. I had a GoPro. I went by myself. I was supposed to go get my brother, but I was overthinking. And then at the same time, I didn't want to miss. So I just left early. Like I left around like 5 that morning to get there early enough to get like access. So I picked the camera up, bro, and press record, and I just started talking. I started talking to the camera. Um, I started, I had it facing me at one point, turned it around and just started talking. And when I played it back, I want to say this: we are our biggest critics. Like we are our biggest critics. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking the video not good, but then I pause and I'm just like, that's just me trying to sound perfect. I'm not perfect. I won't be perfect. So then I sat back and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there, and whatever happens, happens. I can take it. I've been picked on by my speech or how I talk for years. At this point now, it don't bother me. It's a part of who I am, and I just accepted it. So that was me getting over my biggest insecurity slash challenge of actually getting into content creation. Because I have a podcast now. Like the old me would have never even thought about doing a podcast because of how I talked. So I would be afraid people wouldn't understand me or they wouldn't get me because of how I talk. So
Mhm.
for the ones that, that do have an insecurity or they do have something holding them back, I'm a witness firsthand. I just dove into it and gradually I learned how to basically that insecurity didn't hold me no more. Now I'm like I embrace it. And I just keep going because the only thing I'm gonna do is just keep getting better as I keep going. So For the ones that do have insecurity holding them back, trust me, it's not as hard as you think it is. It's not that big of a deal once you get more comfortable with yourself and you get more confident in being yourself. I promise you, we hold ourselves back a lot, and we got to stop that. That's my opinion on that. Just we got to stop that. We got to just go for it. Whatever happens, take it to the chin and just keep going.
That's true. That's true. It goes back to, the thing I said, because you got comfortable being uncomfortable. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, 'cause from what you're telling me, I mean, you're talking perfectly fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're good at, the slow speech, the slow talk, at, asking the questions and engaging, and even answering your own questions that you ask back. Um, you know, when in normal like podcast mode, so you're pretty good at it. And that's insecurities is a big thing. It's 100% a big thing. And it's not even only just about cars. It could be something as minor as somebody not trying to get a job because they're insecure about, certain things they got, or, not being able to just get off the couch or do, something that they want to do because that of those types of insecurities. Um, for a long time, because I'm a big guy, I'm nobody small, and for years beforehand, um, me being big used to be an insecurity of mine. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's with age or something like that. As time goes on, it just goes away. Um, but the older I get, I don't give a fuck. I'm a big back. I'll be eating ribs. I'll be eating good. There ain't nobody gonna tell me how to eat. I'll be eating good in the mug. I'll tell you that. Like, but at the end of the day, of course, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get crazy big because, of course, it's not only about just being big and all that, but it's about also being healthy for me. Once you get to certain weights, your health kind of goes out the window. You ain't trying to, and I'm not trying to get to that type of point. But anybody can do what they want to do. But of course, I watch my weight and I do watch what I eat, but at the same time, I still eat good. But I don't have the insecurities about like myself, my body, and how I look, as much as I used to back in the day. Um, but also, maybe it's just because I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care what people really say about me, or how they think, or whatever they got going on. Because the mindset that I have is, um, and it's actually a crazy mindset that I have, but it is a mindset where I mind the business that pays me. People's opinions, words, and things like that does not put money in my pocket. What puts money in
Not
my
at all.
pocket is like my job and me working hard in order to get to where I need to get. And that's what pays for my cars, right? To put my tunes and everything, do what I got to do. So with that mind state, I'm able to move forward and not really care about, other folks' opinions or really what they got to say that's negative towards me. But I'm just a decent guy. My philosophy is just as long as you're doing what you got to do out there, bro, and you ain't hurting nobody, um, and you're living your life by your truths. Do what you got to do. Enjoy your life, live your life as you want and as you can, and just keep moving forward. But at the end of the day, the insecurities is going to be there, but just got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. As much as everyone can be, or as to your ability that you can be doing.
And speaking of insecurities, right? I feel like it's something that's not spoken on in the car scene as well. Some people get certain cars, right? And they put the car in front of their insecurities. Now,
Mhm,
because they have a better car than other people, they take it out on the people with less than them. So,
mhm.
have you seen that? And if you have, like, what's your opinion on that within the car scene?
I have seen that. I have actually seen that many times. Many car scenes I've been to. And as a matter of fact, some people even do that to me. Whereas like let's say they have like an M4 or like, some AMG, V8 bi-turbo or something like that, or some crazy car. And shout out to, AMG and BMW owners, because not everybody's like that. There's owners out there that I know that, they're pretty chill, they're very humble about their vehicle, but they don't
Mhm.
talk down about other people's cars or anything, and they don't put other things ahead. Because I've also even seen that from Dodge Charger owners and Hellcat owners, Cat Packs, everybody that has those high-end sporty cars, they just look at other people's cars like a TXV Acura or something like that, some like TSX, I mean. Acura and be like, and piece of shit, 2-cylinder, whatever, crazy. I'm like, bro, it's his car. Let him enjoy his car. A Honda, if you soup it up right, it can beat a Hellcat. Like you
Oh
got
yeah, for sure.
Acura TSX. Like if you soup that shit up right, it could beat a Hellcat. Like I think like there's certain things like that happens, and like I'm like everybody has their dreams and the cars that they want. Do not talk bad about what they have, their build, and what they got going on. Some people work really hard to get there. Like they put a lot of effort, time, and all these things into it just to go to a car meet for you to sit there and belittle their cars and everything. And then they feel bad, and now they might not even pop out no more. They might go try to sell their car, get rid of it, or be like, man, I put in thousands of dollars. Like you about to go make that man's go cry in the car, bro. Like what? Like come on, man. Like can't be having that happening. But
Mm-mm.
I've seen it multiple times. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It's in the car scene when I see stuff like that, I just feel like everybody has their own thing. They got four wheels on their vehicle and they're trying to enjoy their car. Let them enjoy what they built, what they have, what they sweat, put blood, sweat, and tears in order to get. Just let them enjoy what they got, man. It doesn't matter how significant it is. Like I have my Lexus ISF. People come up to me that have Lexus IS 350s, IS 250s, and just basic ISs or basic Lexuses. And they're like, "Yo, man, that's my dream car." And I'm like, I'm very humble when they come to me and say that. But I look back at their cars and I'm like, "Yo, man, your car is clean. Like the IS 350. Some of them got better wheels than mine. Better wheels, better things. Like I'm like, bro, your shit's cleaner than mine, man. And I appreciate their bills. Like, there's certain other cars, like some bills that are, some banged up bills, like whereas they use them specifically for drifting or doing things, but some of them are clean. Like some of them are really
Mm-hmm.
clean, some of them are really great. The ones that aren't great, they're not great for a reason because they're going to use them to tear them the fuck up on the track or in a legal pit. But the ones that are clean, I represent their builds. And even the ones that aren't clean, I'm like, with the things they do to them, I'm like, they remove seats, they do all that. I'm like, God damn, you gutted that shit, took everything out. Crazy, crazy bill you done did to that. Like, and it has like different fenders and shit like that on the car. But again, it's not to make it fully aesthetic or fully pleasing or the most expensive. The whole point of the car community is to come together as like that brotherhood and that family and that sisterhood, right? And to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy each other's bills, talk about each other's bills as a community and get to know one another, how they got to their bills and how it made a difference and impact on themselves and how it's making a difference and impact on that community. You know, that's what it really should be about. But again, it comes down to it where I see it in person and I see it online in the comment section. And some of those people that comment with those negative things talking about, oh, why you get this old ass car? You could have gotten this new thing. They don't even have profile pictures. Like they go on there just to like troll or do some shit. They just sit there and talk or whatever. And it's like, man, like it's a sad thing. And it shouldn't, I mean, I can't take away all the negativity in the world or negativity in the car community, but it's something that, of course, we can't forcibly take away. It has to be there, you know. But at the same time, what I could say the best thing for us to do is to try to be like that better example, and put that hope back into the people that enjoy their bills, no matter how small or big it is, and express what they got going on in their cars.
Okay, so before I give my opinion on the insecurities, and because I've seen it firsthand too, um, I want to speak on something you said about community, right, and bringing people together, and what the car scene should really be about. So we're starting this thing called 50 Stories, 50 States, right?
And
Where once we get enough people on a podcast from a certain state, or if we can organize a meet in a certain state, then I'll be traveling to that state to do the same thing you just said, to meet people, hear their story, talk to them, bring the car culture together, bring the car scene together, and then it'll be a documentary of that state within the people who I meet during the time that I'm in that state. So that's what I've been working on behind the scenes is to figure out, like you said, we can't fix all the negativity. We can't fix all, like, we can't fix it, but we can do our part and showing people what the car scene really is by connecting with the scene itself, not the big influencers, not the people with the most followers, the nicest cars. I'm trying to bring everybody together like at one point. So the 50 states, 50 stories, it starts in Florida. I've been doing it in Florida first. Up
Mm.
until October when I'm going to Arizona to do it in Arizona. So I I want to actually after the podcast or during the podcast, I just want to talk to you about coming out to where you're from and me and you basically capturing the scene out there where you're from because we have the same mindset on a lot of things. So I feel like we can actually make it something. We could make it something big. If we put our heads together on that project. All right.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
So I'm definitely going to talk to you about that in the DMs and see what we can do. But when it comes to the insecurities in the car scene, I want to say I've seen it firsthand. Um, you don't put down somebody because you have the better version of their vehicle. Like for myself, I have a '08 Mercedes. It's a CLS 550, right? But you know
Mm.
how you can get, you know how they come factory with like the up badging, like the AMG badges and everything else.
Yeah.
So the person I bought mine from had all that. He had all the AMG badges on the car when I bought it. Now I know what I know what that entails in the car scene. You don't up badge or you don't go down. Either you debadge it or but you never go up. So I know that. I didn't do it. That's how I bought the car. I just haven't taken it off yet. Like I rock the AMG wheels because I feel like right now my car is stock. I'm waiting on the wide body kit to be finished to start putting the money into my car. So once I get the wide body kit, then I'll start transforming my car. But in the meantime, it's stock AMG rims, just stock black paint. But um, a comment. I was at a Cars and Coffee once, and I got somebody got my car on video, and you can see on the back it says AMG, right?
Mm.
And he was like, "Oh, he goes to typical Mercedes owners. They got the base model with the AMG badge." And I'm like, I know what I have. I just haven't taken off the badge yet. I'm not trying to sit and fake that it's an AMG. You can hear the difference in the 5.5 in the AMG motor. It's a huge difference. We all know that. But the fact that you take your time out of your day to try to make somebody else feel low, what car do you have? Or what gives you that justification that you could put somebody else down just because you see something? I know I don't have an AMG. My goal is to get an AMG. So one day I get there. And when I have the AMG, I'm still not gonna try to throw it back in that comment face. No, I worked for it. I got it. I'm proud of what I have now. I know my car not an AMG, but the insecurities I've seen with the car scene is crazy. And like you said earlier, it can really push people out of the car scene, and that's what we don't want. We don't want to have people being pushed out of the car scene because you feel like you're better than me, or you are hiding behind insecurities to make yourself feel like you're higher than. Don't do that because we all here for the same reason. Some. We do have some fake men in the car scene and some fake women in the car scene who are just a part of it for what it brings, but they're not fully in the car scene for the car scene is. So um I love when I hear stories about how embracing the car scene is, how we embrace people, how we give them that warm welcome. Because I feel like just because you in a better spot right now than somebody, you gotta remember that chick can be taken away from you at any moment. And then now you gotta revert back to being where they're at. So now, you were just judging me the other day, and now you back at square one with me. So it's just like you just gotta be humble with what you have, and then you can't try to put people down because you got a better car or you got the top model of that car. And they don't do that because one day he or she will get there. And then when they get there, the only thing they could think about is the type of person you was rather than the person that you could have been. So that's my take on insecurity in the car scene. And I feel like I said, we can't change it, but we can do our part and making sure that people don't get that side of
Yeah. Yeah. It's those types of folks is just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because they're bored or just because like Maybe they have like, a certain grow up they did that is just it's not like it didn't go right as far as growing up, or
Mhm.
they just have that judgmental personality, that they have that they have their own self insecurities that they have to kind of project, or they just like, th- their personality is all about, I gotta see and I gotta judge, I gotta say this, I gotta say that. Like, at the end of the day, man, I I can look at anybody's car and I don't care. You could have a big ass wing on the back of a Honda Civic, right? Like, just a basic Honda Civic, and like, yeah, it looks out of place, sometimes, when you have it like that. But as far as judging, you do what you want. It's your money, it's your car, bro. If you want to spend money on having a big ass wing on the back of your Honda Civic, do that shit. It's not illegal. Do what you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't hurting nobody. You're not doing anything. Like, I don't. I've seen people with my with, like, they take my Lexus, and again they have like an IS 250, IS 350. They debadge theirs. They put the ISF on there. Shit, they changed out the whole body kit to put the ISF body kit on their ISs. Um, I seen them do that with Chargers, with V6 Chargers on, Scat Packs and Hellcats. They debadge or they move badges around and say that this is a Hellcat when it's not. This and the third. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's, do what you want. In my opinion, again, if you have the money and you want to put these badges on your car, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to remove the badge, like whatever the case may be, do it. Because at the end of the day, like sometimes that can just be more or less a dream, like a dream realization that they need. Like, whereas like you put the badge on your car, assuming you think you have that car, when you know you don't have it, to the point like it's gonna make you work in order to attain the real badge, right? Or to
Mhm.
attain that real car. Like, sometimes it's just a manifestation of a dream that that person is doing. Whereas they're working to get there, but they want to have something that's there, right? And I think that's fine, with anybody if they want to do it, if they want to have it. But I feel like the people that do comment and do those types of things have their own insecurities. Like, they're like, well, I'm not going to, if I got to go get this car, I'm not going to get this lower base model, this lower version. I'm just going to go straight to the top. Or I'm not going to get an older car because I want a newer car because I don't want people to talking about me having this older car. That's an insecurity, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's just certain things like, yeah, again, people probably project their own insecurities on the people that have that different type of
Mhm.
setup or different type of mind, and it's like, that's why, me personally, I don't do it. I look at anybody, and I really do not care. You can have whatever car, whatever thing you're doing to it, it's you. It's your money. You do what you got to do, man. And you again, life's too short. Like me, life is just too short to give a shit about what somebody else is doing, especially if I have just a simple sticker, bro. I do not give a crap. Like, they have a sticker on it. Great, great. Well, it's not killing me in the moment, bro. I'm not dying from looking at the sticker. It's not Medusa. It ain't gonna turn me to stone, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Mhm.
don't care. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's that negative mindset out there, the insecurities people portray on the other people is really what does it. It's 100% really what does it.
Okay, so give us your opinion on respect all bills then.
Repeat that.
Give us your opinion on respect all bills.
Respect all bills. It's a valid. It's a valid thing. Respect all bills. I feel like everyone should have respect for anyone and all bills that's out there for their vehicles. Because, again, as I said, everybody works hard to get whatever bill they have. Like, again, people could be working and only making like, you know, $700, a month, and they're really working to build their car that they have. It could be some teenager, some, person in their 20s, 30s, 40s. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever amount of money they have, whatever amount of dreams and aspirations they have to get there, that's what they're doing to get there. Whatever mind state they have to get there, that's just them. They feel comfortable doing it, do it. If you want to get somewhere where you need to get better, be comfortable getting uncomfortable, right? That's what it boils back
Hmm.
down to. But any build that somebody comes out there, I respect anybody's build, no matter what car it is, no matter what setup they got, no matter even if they don't got a bumper on their car, you know, it's probably for a reason. I respect your build.
So I've I've always respected all builds because I respect you putting yourself out there, being creative, not caring what other people say about your car. Like I respect the passion you have to go out there and build a car for yourself. I think the only line I draw within the respect all builds part is what when it comes to certain things. I feel like the only reason that comes up in debate is because a good portion of the car scene holds it to a certain standard. You know what I mean? So I feel
Mm,
like when you can have like nice show cars or like nice like fully built cars, like in a so let's just put it in a car meet, like in a car show car meet type of deal. You got the cars that's like really built. You got the cosmetics part cars that's really built. And then you got the ones that's like up and coming, right?
mm,
I feel like the respect of bills come from people with the up and coming trying to park with the car show quality and then the car meet quality. I feel like that's where the debate between respect of bills come in is because we're trying to keep the car scene set to a certain standard of not just letting like anything in and then not like you got anything pulling up. But I still at the
mm.
end of the day I'm still respect all bills because I feel like you gotta respect the person for I guess more so for me, like we said, we just had a person on the podcast 2 days ago, and I like how he said it. He said, "I respect all people, but there are some bills he can't respect. Two, it could be because of the person, and three, no, one is because he can't respect the person, and the second one was because he holds the car scene to a certain standard. That way, he just can't allow anything to come in the car scene, and so it is like a thin line with it. I'm respect your bill is your bill. Either way, I'm gonna respect it. But when it comes to holding a car scene to a certain standard of what should be in the car scene, I feel like we do have to kind of put like a certain standard on that just to keep up with like the quality because you don't want like non-quality coming into the car scene and then it gets drowned out by like not quality bills. So I can understand where people come from in the sense of seeing both sides of it. Then we lose him. Don't think. No. So if you heard about the 50 states, 50 stories, this is one of them. This is the Florida. This this is the Florida shirt that we're doing. It covers kind of almost everything Florida related, like the history of Florida. Um, I do have another one, but I think the one I, the other one I have, I think I'm gonna keep it as an exclusive for the people that I'm working with on the documentary. This shirt is for the documentary of the 50 story, 50 states. But I have another design that includes everybody we working with on the 50 stories, 50 states. And then this one also is a part of the 50 stories, 50 states. This for Arizona. So this is the Arizona one that we got for the 50 stories, 50 states. I got me a little merch wall. Uh-huh. And then this shirt, honestly, I'll just show up real quick. We doing I'm doing like a special. This shirt I only made 25 of them. I think we sold 5 already, but I got the original logo. Well, I got the different logo. So you will see different logos throughout. But yeah, this is like a special shirt. Like you can see the R33 on it. We're making like only 25.
Yes, sir.
So
So
might have I might have had a brain fart in the midst of that. So, what's the last thing you call us talking about?
Respect your build.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Well, basically, I basically got out what my opinion is just a quick recap. My opinion is just respect the person building the car, still respect all bills, but just like we do with everything in life, hold everything to a certain standard. That way, it's not watered down or diluted to the point where it's just it doesn't become. I'm trying to find the right word or like the
The
right way to word it.
I feel like the best thing to do in the aspect of that, I know what you mean. I feel like the best thing to do is to categorize it. Like
Okay.
there's certain categories the to the to the actual car scene where, as you said, you can't. I wouldn't take like a beat up rally car or something like that to like a show. Or I wouldn't take like, some type of, just regular Honda with just some wheels added on it to a certain show and things like that. Like there are certain categories that you have it at for certain bills.
Mhm.
Where you can still respect whatever bill they have, but you categorize it not in a negative way, but in a way where it should be with other similar bills or other similar setups. That's what I feel like that setup should be, is to whereas it's not necessarily judged, but it's categorized in what that specific area of that bill should be in.
You know what? Honestly, I feel like that honestly would be a great way to look at that and move forward with it. Because, like you say, it's not a way of being judged, but it's just a way of really like getting people to understand, like, because with everything, there's always levels to it. So,
Mhm.
and we all go through that in our own life. Like, at one point, you start here, then you go here. So it's always levels and chapters to it. And we can make it not make it like it, but it could be like a chapter thing. Like, okay, well, when I first got my car, I was here. And then gradually I wasn't here. And like now I can fully say I have one of the top bills rated by my peers. Not myself, but my peers. And like I feel like that too, like a great way to actually like look at it and put it into perspective of like, you know, like I say, my bill started here and now it's here. I feel like that'd be a good way to look at it also. Just to put it, like you said, into those categories.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's some cars that, you know, like for example, you have like a base like Q50, the Infinity Q50, or something like that,
Yeah.
some base Infinity, right? You can't take that and be like, yeah, I'm about to take that and bring it to a show, or it's the craziest thing out there. No, it's you got it's built, not bought type of thing, right? So whereas like you put rims on it, you put sportier rims on it, you put a suspension on it, you change up the engine, you tune the engine, you fix the transmission, probably add like a turbo to it or something like that. Like that's where that build quality, as you said, starts adding in there, and then it's categorized into another different field, right?
Yeah.
Because once it gets up there, shoot, you could be flying by and comparing your car again to like the Charger Hellcats and things like that. Like there's in my opinion, in the car community, there is certain bills that are different than other bills, but I would never hate on somebody's bill. I would always put it in my head. I always put it in a category. This is a
Yeah.
category it needs to be in, and I respect it wherever it sits at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it is, and that doesn't mean it's a bad category. That just means that's the category where that car is currently sitting. Like my car, for example, my Lexus ISF, there's cleaner and way better built Lexus ISFs than mine out there, 100%. I'm in a category where mine is not base level, but it's like mid category where you do a couple modifications to it and not crazy. As far as aesthetics and performance mods. Because on my car, everyone tells me like, yeah, man, you got the best, loudest sounding ISF out here. You got, because I have headers on mine. I don't got no cats. I got resonators.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, straight pipe
Yeah.
coming all the way back.
Okay. Okay.
It's on E85 with a tune.
Okay.
Like it's like, it goes, it gets up and it goes like and then of course I have the new shoes on it, new rims, right? It's on coils. I beefed up the suspension to make it more sharper. I need to get it realigned though. And and yeah, just those couple of things to it, it puts it in that certain category. But there is Lexus ISFs that's out there with superchargers and all that shit on there. Like that's like that other category that you can really get to. So that's how I view it. It's like I just put it in those types of categories, and that's really how it works out.
I think we should actually like try to, get that actually started. Cause then again, coming into the car scene is already hard enough. And then you're trying to feel like, oh, I'm trying to put myself in where, I mean, get in where you fit in, but at the same time, like, like where you at, like where the car scene sees you and like where you can go from there. I feel like that'd be dope. And speaking of
Yes.
that, like, in a sense, it's a comp- compound question. How do you feel about car meets? And would you join the national car meet? I mean, car group. So, how do you feel about car groups? And would you join a national car group?
So car meets, what I feel like is car meets as a general, like car meets and everything, we gotta be more open. Like we gotta be more open and more friendly. When I go to car meets, and I'm open when I go to car meets. Like I try to meet people. I even go up to people, ask them about their cars, this and the third, this and the third. And sometimes they're just shy and they don't want to talk. Or again, sometimes you don't have like a car that they have, and they're like, "Yeah, nah," But you don't know. You never know. This person could probably just not bring that car today, or they just can't either afford that car, or they have an interest in your car and they want to talk to you about it, about possibly getting it. You never
Hmm.
know what somebody else is thinking or going through or what they got going on. But what I've noticed in the car community and in the car group is that a lot of just a lot of people, like, they just don't want to talk, they don't conversate. They go there with their group, but that's it. Like they might have like one person that shows up, two people, or maybe a group of five, and they just surround themselves around that. But they don't make conversations with other people or talk to other people, talk to them about their bills, about their cars, get to meet people. Um, and some folks just sit in their car overforming. Like they just sit there and they don't move. They just sit there and like their lights are on and shit. And they don't get out the car at all. They just like sit there and trying to build war and shit. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, that's fine. Everybody do what they got to do. But my thing is, it's like the whole point of the meet is in the name. You go there to meet people. You go there to build like a community. You go there to talk to people about their cars, their builds. Even if it's stocked, even if it's something. Why did you get the car? Why are you interested in it? What you got plans on doing next to it? Those types of things when you go to a meet and you show up. Um, it's just like, there that type of level of communication is missing in my opinion for the car meets. Um, but as far as how I feel about it, I feel like it's a great thing to have because again, that's just how you build and make connections. It's just it's but it doesn't happen a lot of times out of 10 unless again that person has a similar vehicle to you or they, whatever the case may be. And I get it. You want to get in where you get in at with the same people or whatever. But it doesn't hurt to go up to somebody else with a different car than you and just start a conversation. Because you don't know what they can have in common. Because there's this one guy that I was at. There was this one cruise I went on, and he had a Z06, a C7 Z06, right? And I had my Lexus ISF. He didn't come up to me at all. He actually we didn't make eye contact, nothing like that. He didn't come up to me, nothing, right? But he had his car, but he saw my Lexus ISF, but there was no like, you know, like seeing it. You see a Lexus, you see ISF, and nothing special about it, right? That's until
Hmm.
I went up to him, and then I talked to him. I was like, "Yo, man, that's a sick C7." He was like, "Oh." Yeah, thanks, man. Like he seemed surprised that I even knew it was a Z06 C7. I mean, I know a Z06 C6. He was surprised that I even knew it was that car. And then I asked him about like the things he did. Did he do, did he rebuild the engine? Did he do anything else to the car? Did he do a three-stage cam to it? All types of things. And he, again, that's how you spark that conversation is like, you go in and then you ask about their car regardless of what it is, and again, you spark it. But some people, again, they're either just scared of making that conversation or scared of that rejection of maybe that person don't want to talk or don't want to conversate. And it's fine. If they don't want to talk, want to conversate, move on to the next group, move on to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going until you actually get it activated and get a conversation started. Like, but that's just me. That's how I feel about it, and that's what I've seen happen in meets. It's just those things.
Hmm. I can agree though. Like I say, I've been to car meets where I've seen people just sit in the car, or I've seen them just stay with they click, or they don't go out and socialize. And that's the point of the car meet is just to get to see the people behind the car. I mean, the car is the foundation, but like the community is like what builds up that foundation. So like if you go to a car meet, you should socialize and get to know more people, because you never know how good of a person that can come to you, or you just don't know what comes of meeting that person. And so
Mhm.
when it comes to the car groups, right? I asked about a nationwide car group because me and me and my team have decided to start a car group for for this community. Like the podcast is the podcast is the foundation, right? But
Mhm.
everything else we're building will become the community of the podcast. So we started a car group called One Era.
Mhm.
And the point of that car group is to, like I say, is to be nationwide. That way, in case when we get enough people in it, like say for example where you at, if we people join it, we can meet up with other people in the car group. Y'all can do like y'all thing together, photography, rollers. Or if you need a car friend to go to a car meet with, you can hit that person up. That's also in the nationwide car group. So the point of it is just to bring people together, like nationwide. And then, like I said earlier, if I'm ever like in that state or if I'm ever like in that city, and it's a group of people that support and that's in the nationwide car group we got, then we can all link up, do content, and just keep it going that way, like just state to state, city to city, just meet up with new people that's in that car group and just keep it going like that. Just really bring the community together or try to within that car group. That's what that's also something that we're working on trying to get built through the podcast is to build a community outside of it with a car group.
Right. That's I like that concept because then it keeps everyone connected. And it also keeps everything organized in a sense as far as, having having that state connection, like inside of like, like where I am in Virginia, like having that connection where like I'm here, the other person's maybe like an hour away. We're planning to meet up in like this little group, hit up that person because they're right there. We go, type of thing. It'll be something whereas it can roll in as that, so nobody is going to have to feel alone, or nobody is not going to want to go to the meet because they don't have anyone to go to, or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
Um, because that's majority of the reason why either people don't, or when they do go, they just stay inside their car, whatever the case. But I like that concept because it really creates that connection.
That's what we're trying to look for. I will say we did. So I've met one person from the podcast in person, and that person became my partner. His name is Shane, right?
Mm,
But I want to say the most surreal experience so far from this podcast came when TK and Alicia met. TK is in Utah, and I want to say Alicia is around this is close, like 2 hours of me, 2 hours away maybe.
mm,
But them was the first two people outside of me and Shane to actually link up and meet up that came from the podcast. And when they did, we made they made a group chat and they sent pictures of them meeting up. And I'm just like, see, like that's legit. Like that's what it's all about is to get people to come together, get people to meet up. Like, they drove just to meet each other she heard TK's story. So TK was the first guest to ever come on the podcast, right?
Mm.
So she basically is the OG of the podcast. She was the first guest ever. So just to have people meet up outside the podcast and then, they became good friends. That's really what it's all about. And that's really the mission we're pushing to get people. So as you said it perfectly, you got somebody to go to the car meet with. You got somebody to link up with. Really, you're an hour away or 30 minutes away. You just have somebody close to you that like that could be there for you or that's always down to meet up. So that's the point of creating that car group. Like that's exactly how you said it is exactly what it stands for.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because that connection is key, man. I'm in a little group right now called Beltway Bandits. That has actually a whole community themselves. Well, not a big community, but there's people inside the group that we meet up from time to time or whenever they're available. And if you would want to actually be also in that group or talk to the guy, that's overseeing that group too,
Mhm.
I can connect y'all too as well, because
Of course.
those types of connections too also help out.
Oh,
Because I
for
think
sure.
there's people that's in that. I think there's folks that's also in Maryland and DC that also has different car bits. So that those are, those different states, because I'm in Virginia. So in case, need to go into Maryland, see what's out there too, there's also that. But again, that still goes in on building that type of community and that connection.
It does.
Because Beltway Bandits, it's not it's an all right group, but we don't necessarily meet up or go to meets too much. We do from time to time,
Mhm.
but it's not like, like a constant thing. But there's also a photographer in there. He might even want to share his story on how he got into taking photos for cars and things like that. I feel like he would have a good story on that. So it's always good to open up new connections and see what's out there. And I can connect you with them too. But yeah, 100% work on getting some shit started, because it doesn't hurt to build that connection, whether we're on the East Coast, West Coast, mid, doesn't matter. Like, once that connection starts and builds, yeah, I feel like it can really kick off.
No, for real. So most definitely, you can send it to me over DM, and myself, I'll reach out to them. I'll try to connect with them. I'll try to see who wants to tell their story or who doesn't. Or I want to figure out a way for the people who don't want to be on camera, still
Mhm.
find some way to get their story told in a way that they're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be on camera, but I want to try to figure out a way to still like let their voice be heard as well. So that's also something I'm trying to figure out because I know everybody isn't camera friendly. So some people are camera shy. So I just want to figure out a way to also that their voice be heard also because I want them to know that also it matters as much as people who come on the podcast. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that as well.
The best way I could probably think about it is like, if they have videos or pictures of their cars, have that be the immediate in there, and maybe they can like overlay their voice in it. Like it's
Okay.
like a kind of like a presentation thing. Like if they have like while they're talking, their car is like either
Hmm.
doing like, a pull, or, it's you're showing pictures of the car at the same time. Intermediate while they're overlapping whatever it is they're talking about.
That is a good idea.
Hmm.
That's definitely a good idea. So I want to say we have two questions left, but before I get into the two questions, is there anything you would like to ask or anything you have that you want to speak on?
Mm, one thing I was going to ask is, how you find me? Like, how you find
So
me?
honestly, like what I do is most of my day I spend it just scrolling, bro, just strolling. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen actually what I was doing. I was cooking something, but I
Hmm.
sparked up on the video and I heard a car. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to cook, right? But I can hear it. So like, like as a like when you hear a car that sound good, bro, you like, wait.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like this, bro, and Instagram, the cost, I'm like, wait, I'm like, hold on. I'm like, oh shit, that's a Lexus. And I want it. So I'm gonna tell you, I didn't have the money for an ISF. I had the money for an IS350. So I
Mm,
was going to get, and I like my car's kind of older also. I was going to buy I want to say it's the '08 IS350. And then I was going to do a conversion kit on it.
mm,
But then when I seen your car, I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. Like I wanted a ISF. Legacies are beautiful, and I feel like they underrated.
mm,
So then I go and I look at the video, and I'm like, nah, I'm like, bro, shit, like this. It was clean as hell. I'm like, it sound good. So then I went through it. I went through your page, and I'm just like, okay, bet. I'm like, you know what? I like, I'm like, I like the bills, the bill clean, the car's clean. I'm just like, now it started. Now I'm starting getting curious. I'm like, you know what? I'm curious if he come tell his story because his videos give insight, it gives perspective, and it gives opinion. But now I'm like, let's see if he'll be willing to come tell his story on the podcast, and then we'll see how that goes. So yeah, bro, I'm cooking, and then I hear it, and I'm like, yeah, I reached out immediately.
I hear you. I hear you. Everybody, I think the video you probably saw too was the one where it was where I think that's like the loudest video I have of that car. It was where there was like a wire coming down from the camera, and it was like a scenery up there, and you were just hearing it go like just
Hmm.
going crazy. Even if you know the Black Car Guru,
Yeah,
yeah, you did a review on that specific video.
I
Um,
tried to get him on the podcast. I'm still trying to get him on the podcast.
you can what I was gonna actually tell him was like he should probably start doing podcasts too. Like I
Yeah,
feel
for real.
like I don't know why he's not. I mean, I feel like that would be like a great thing for him to do. Like he should, you know,
Facts.
if either he travels state to state or he does it over the phone, like what you're doing.
Hmm.
He should probably do it too because he would gain a pretty good following
Oh
and he's
yeah.
pretty funny. He's funny. I mean, he
Nah,
can,
he be tripping, bro. That
yeah,
man be
he'd be
tripping, bro.
he'd be having some crazy shit to say, talking about is that talking about lizard backs and shit.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
That man be tripping, bro.
but yeah, no, he for sure should do it. But yeah, it's that video got a lot of attention. I think that's like the highest like video I have. I don't think it's the highest viewed one. The highest viewed one was me versus some Mercedes AMG on the highway, and there's a lot of comments underneath that video, man. And I'm like not even the owner of the car was on when I was on underneath the video doing too much. But I did lose to the car. But at the same time I was reeling him in when we were on the road. He has an AMG. I think it was C43 or something like that. C43, I think it was. It's like I think it's like a V6 turbo version or something.
I watched
Um
it.
yeah, it's like that one, and his was tuned and everything like that. So I was like, when I was going initially, I didn't have the car in anything. Traction was on, and I only thing I had was in manual mode. I didn't have it in sport mode, nothing like that. So when we were going, I wasn't really prepared for any of
Hmm.
that. But at the same time, while on the upper end of the speed, like while we were going up, I was still like gaining on him to the point like I was if we had more lengths to go, I probably would have passed him. But it cut short and he ended up winning the thing. And I'm humble by that. Regardless of whatever video I post of me winning or losing, I'ma post it. Like it
Hmm.
doesn't matter what video it is. Like you win fair and square, I lose fair and square. It does not matter. Like but some folks gonna take it a step further. Like they gonna be like, you can't beat AMD, this, that, third. I'm like, brother, it's just a friendly race. Like
Hmm.
we race to see who has the faster car, yes, but you don't have to dive into the other arguments. Like I had one guy on the video, man. He went into talking about the history of Mercedes and AMG. Like he said, since I think some type of Vermont full car. Brother, we just racing on the street. What are you getting into? I don't need a history lesson on AMG right
Hey,
now, bro.
no,
I'm like, chill
that's
out. Like
that's going too far on that one.
I'm like, bro, chill out, man. Like we ain't. like I don't know what he was on, but I was like, man, listen, like since after that, he deleted all his comments. And I don't know, he got off the video or some shit. I don't know what happened, but I was like, bro, you were doing way too much on the video. Not even the owner. The owner is more humble than you, and he's the one that won the race.
Hmm.
That tells you something, bro. Like, and the owner, like I think he lives somewhere around there by me, but yeah, he's chill people. He's chill dude. As far as it goes, like, yeah, we actually talked recently when it was on the 4th and shit like that. And he's super cool dude, super chill dude. If you also want his Instagram, talk if you want to talk to him about his build, his car too, I can send that your way and all that. But yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, man, I'm like y'all gotta chill out. But yeah, that's like the highest viewed one. Um, and it's like my best editor one too. But that's like the formula I'm trying to get in with my videos is doing more edits and adding those more content creating things in there and really seeing what clicks and hits with people. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's that's good that you caught your attention on that video. I need to make more different and more content created close videos and shit like that and start posting them.
me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
it's just trying to figure out what really catches the attention of the audience. But again, when I find out what catches the attention of the audience is my ass doing, 140 miles per hour with a state trooper behind me or something. That's what really gonna catch the attention. Like, oh shit, you running for cops? Like, nah, man. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I gotta catch your attention in some other way.
And then what I will say is, if you have anybody who you think is willing to come tell their stories, willing to come be on the podcast, send them over, and I will definitely reach out. Um, I try to reach out as much as I can to as many people as I can because everybody page is different, and like so, how I try to do it is most pages don't put their story up on social
Yeah,
media, so um I try to bring out the story or I try to see if they want to bring out their own story. And that's how basically I go about getting people. But again, I'm trying to get the people that's in the car scene that make the community what it really is. So that's really my main target is just to get the community itself on the podcast. And then that way the community itself can grow with the right community. So that's that's my main goal with that one is that's how I reach out to other people.
yeah, good. That would make sense because there is some people that they do have the car, but they don't necessarily post their car much or post like anything about the car community much or anything like that. Which there's a lot of people that's evident to that. My brother is like that. Like he like if you possibly you like he's shy, but you could get him on camera. And he would
Mhm.
talk about his build. Like he would talk about well, what he did to his car and stuff like that. He'll be shy about doing it, but he'll still do it. Like but he doesn't he doesn't even have he barely has even a video of his car on his Instagram. Like, it's just like I'm like, bro, like if you have your car, talk about your car, you like a car because he has a Chevy SS.
Oh,
Um
nice.
yeah, he has a Chevy SS. I had it on my profile once, but I ended up rearranging my profile really to just have everything incorporated around the Lexus ISF. Um, but it was like a blacked out, and he did things to it. He had headers too and exhaust. He was planning to do a couple other things to it. Um, but yeah, he had that. Has that car. But again, he doesn't really want to talk about it. But yeah, some people have their thing, and some people, they talk about it, and some people don't. It really just depends on the person. But at the end of the day, yeah, I could see your method as far as really finding the people that are wanted to be out there and really want to talk to, because you don't want to force it, but at the same
Mhm.
time, if you're open to it, you're open to it. Cool, let's do it.
For sure. And that's the one thing I try to do. I'm not gonna pressure you into telling your story. I'm not gonna pressure you to doing something you don't want to do. Um, I'll send you a text. I'll ask a question. I'll talk about the podcast. If you're comfortable with talking about the podcast on camera, let's set it up. If you are not, then I'll ask you if you're comfortable with sharing your story via DM. If not, cool. I'll leave it alone. I don't want to feel like I'm putting you in a corner, or I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable with what we're building. Because again, I want everybody to feel comfortable when I address them or when I approach them. I don't want to be like, oh, he kept and kept, or not. Like, no. Um, I just want to make you feel comfortable before you even come on the podcast. That way, when you get to the podcast, we can have a good, clean, funny, casual conversation. So that's what I try to do.
That's good. It's good. That's a good setup.
So I try. So one of the last two questions is: when you look forward to your future with car content, life in general, what's next for you?
What's next for me? My next car goal, like as far as the next car I would want, would be a C8. It could be a Stingray or a Z06. But that would be one of the next cars that I would want. It'd be a formula of a C8. Also another goal for me is to get a house, but I need to get the house first, then get the Corvette. So that's I gotta make that priority there. But that's my next goal as far as like bigger goal moving forward. As far as immediate goal, like with my Lexus, it's just to enjoy the car. I'm actually not even against selling the car. And it's not because I want to, but if there's somebody else out there that wants like my Lexus, like truly, really wants my car, and don't get
Mhm.
it twisted, I love my Lexus ISL. I used to have a 2007 Lexus LS 460.
Okay.
That's the big body one where they
Hmm.
made it after the thing. But that car, and I miss that car. I sometimes sit here and regret selling it because the amount of things that came with that car and the amount of things I did to that car. Like I added on some different rims. I removed the air suspension. It had air suspension.
Hmm.
Um I removed it because it was expensive to deal with and it kept the car wobbly. So I removed that. But that wasn't the problem. The things that were in the back of that car that came with it, it had a TV, a recliner chair, a massage chair, a table, uh, and it had a refrigerator. It also what else did it have? Oh, you can control the radio and AC, everything from the back. Like the back was basically it was an executive package, is what they called it.
Okay.
So I have a motherfucker come pick me up from the airport with a bottle of yak or some shit, like some like bottle, and I just had it. I had that cup in the back, be like, yeah, come pick me up, man. Chauffeur me around. Do what you gotta do. And I was be in the back watching TV or something. Like it was a great car. Like I miss that car 100%. Comfortable, great ride. Fun to drive too because it was a V8. That was that '07 LS 460. That's the first ever 8-speed automatic transmission ever put in a car. And that's the first time it was ever built. So there was a great fun car. It was fast. It got up, and I also did work on the exhaust. I didn't do headers on it. I just on that one, I think I had removed the cats, kept the resonators on, and removed the muffler. Um, oh, and added on of electronic valve so it can quiet the car and open it back up type of thing. Because that car I didn't always want it to be loud. Sometimes I just wanted to cruise.
Hmm.
Um, but the setup on that car I had was great. I do miss that car, but um, the the modifications that I did to it and how I like the car, that's what made me get the ISF because that's how I ended up getting the ISF. And because I said I wanted something, I didn't want something that was that bubbly or big or boaty. I wanted something that was
Right.
more sporty and agile. And so that's why I was like, ISF. It has like the V8 engine, HP automatic, it's fast, sporty, all that good stuff. Basically the same thing that my LS was, but just like, in a better sports sense, or sports setup. And that's when I ended up getting the ISF too as well, just because I also missed that car. Um, but the actual modifications, which are minor, I don't have anything else that I'm going to do to the Lexus because, again, if somebody ends up wanting to buy it from me, I don't have no problem selling it for a good price, and if they have the price right. Um, but modifications, though, the only other thing I'll probably do to this car is probably the rear diff and the rear differential, probably change out the bushings and stuff like that. And I think that'd be it. Everything else that I wanted to do bolt-on wise, I already did. But it would just be the rear differential. I would just change that out. Um, and call it a day on the car. But yeah, and also the reason why I'm keeping it so minor with the car is just because, like, yeah, if somebody wants to buy it and they got different things they want to do or they want to change around or they don't like something, whatever. But I think that that would be it. Because I already did all the performance mods that I wanted to on the car, anyways. But yeah, I think as far as big goals, those are the bigger goals. Short term with my Lexus, that's what I have. Content creation, just got to get better at it. For what I'm currently doing with my 360 camera, and going to meets and creating and trying to make things more public and more known. What I got to figure out is how I can increase getting more followers or people or views to my page. I just been just dealing with promotions, but I'm trying to figure out how to just like grab the algorithm. But for my Lexus side stuff, it's hard to grab the algorithm with the card because not a lot of people know about it, and not a
Hmm.
lot of people really care about Lexus too much to be invested too much in the brand. Just because, and it's not a bad thing. Lexus made themselves that way. Lexus is
Yeah,
not. They don't have anything to prove. They know this. They don't need to prove shit to nobody. Lexus has always been the type of people that just know what they have and let you find out type of thing, right?
for sure.
But the only thing that I really see grabbing the algorithm still out there is like, muscle cars, more American cars and, things like that. That's really what's grabbing it. And that's fine. If I had my Dodge Charger Scat Pack still, I know for a fact I would get millions of views. Like doing shit like that with it. I know it'd be like, oh, look at that. Like, Dodge Charger out there again, strikes again. Like, I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, it would get views. But I'm not worried about that. If the algorithm comes in and whoever likes the car, which I get a lot of people that come in and say, yo, man, they like the car. They don't know what my car is. They hear the sound, they like it, they like how it looks. Like, what type of car is this? I get people like that. And that's what keeps me excited with the car. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking. Like I say, I'm gonna keep up with the content because we will obviously stay in touch. So that's something that I always look forward to. And the last question we have for today is the question we ask every guest. If you could put a message on a billboard for the car scene, what would it be?
Stop pulling people over for dark tint. Yeah, put that up there. Stop pulling people over for dark tint, goddamn it. Yeah, for a little too very much.
It's hot outside, man. That
Hey,
tent come in handy sometimes, bro.
come in clutch, man. They
Yeah,
be
for
hating
real.
out there. And that car be darker than my face. Like shit. Like, oh my god damn, man. Like, let a brother get a chance.
Facts. But I thank you for coming on today's podcast. I thank you for being not even a guest. I thank you for being a brother to this podcast, for being a part of the community. Going forward, I'm going to reach out about actually setting something up in Virginia. That way we can actually meet in person. We can bring out the community. We can have a good time, make content, connect, and just network and show the world what the car scene really is about, because it gets painted in a great area. But I feel like with what we're doing and the mindsets we have that come on the podcast, we can really show the world what the podcast is really about, what the car scene is really about. So again, I thank you. I've been honored to sit and have this conversation with you, to talk with you, and have you on the podcast again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, man. You've been pretty chill. I didn't know how this podcast would go because it's my first one. Honestly,
Mhm.
like I've never done one before, but yeah, man, it's been a delight. You've been a great host. You've been very engaging, asking me questions, and keeping me there and everything like that. So I appreciate the conversation and getting me out there, with the podcast, and hopefully we can start something, build a good community out there, and you know, start world peace, like
No
with all
facts.
this.
'Cause
All right, all right. One
I'm
thing
definitely
about
putting
me
out.
is, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I could wait.
Oh yeah, one thing I was going to say is the thing about me is like once in the original Fast and Furious. I think it was, oh, it wasn't lady. It was, what's his face, man? I forgot his name. But he was talking about something, and he was praying, but he had nothing to say to actual like words to God. But he was talking about car parts in the prayer.
Mhm.
And one thing that stuck with me is what Letty said at the end was she was like, yeah, man, he praying to the car gods, so keep the eyes out there, of course, to the main God at hand, but also pray to the car gods, for all that we got, all that we can do, and keeping everybody going with, their mods and boosters and everything they can do to keep their bills great, and, acknowledging everyone's efforts and their hard work and their bills and keeping the community connected.
Sure. That's the goal. And we're gonna make it our mission to make that happen. And like you said, we're gonna make something happen. We're gonna definitely make something happen. We're gonna definitely bring some world peace. So I'm gonna get with you and DM about all the details, about everything we can do. I'm gonna show you what I'm working on behind the scenes because I changed it. I had something way bigger, but I'm gonna go on baby steps. So I'm gonna show you what I'm working on by planning my vision to start building in different states once we get to a certain point with the podcast. So I'm gonna stay in touch. I'm gonna show you everything, and then we can set something up for sure.
Sounds good, man. Sounds like a plan.
All right, thank you. And I thank everybody who came on to the podcast, who watched it, who listened. Uh, I'm saying it every time. Without the support and the community, this podcast has no foundation. So I thank you all for listening, for supporting. Thank you for being here, for listening to stories, learning just as I do. I learn something every podcast. So just thank y'all again. I really appreciate it. And as always, it's your car, it's your story, but this is our community. Thank you and have a great day.
Appreciate it. Peace.
Peace, bro.